Hi, my name is Darren from HTJ.tax, and we're the team that seeks to demystify that sometimes confusing world of international tax. And today, once again, we have the honor and the privilege of having a conversation with Mark Morris. Mark, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm an expert in automatic exchange of information and exchange on demand. And I've been doing this exclusively and nothing else since 2002. And I consulted for the EU Commission, the EU Parliament, and the OECD on the weaknesses of these topics. And I testified to the German Parliament about the tax treaties that they do.
Okay, all right. So, pretty impressive. So, following up on the last question about CRS and exchange information upon request, could you talk to us about how Russians in general are reacting to the situation? How are they generally responding?
Okay, so remember I said they could still be regarded as tax residents in Russia.
Yep.
So they've got to formalize their immigration. A lot of people that just left got the first airplane. There are people on YouTube that are saying they even recorded themselves at the airport saying, I hope I can make it through customs and immigration. And then they left and they never
Mm,
came back. Now those
yeah,
people have got a problem. So now you've got to formalize your immigration. But can you do that if you fled? It's going to be
yeah,
difficult to formalize it when you just
yeah,
fled. And you had your money somewhere else already. So you said, I don't have to ask. But now you still considered a tax resident. So the other thing is, these people that fled, they sat down, they didn't just flee willy-nilly. They chose safe jurisdictions, ones that had no AEoI, no automatic exchange with Russia. The problem since 2022, or if they fled before, is a lot of these countries have either joined under pressure from the OECD or were always going to join in a few years' time, but they didn't know CRS enough to say, I shouldn't go to Armenia because Armenia said that they will join in 2 or 3 years' time. Okay. So then the third type of strategy that they did is they tried to set up complex asset structures. And
yeah.
this is the structure that, when you've got trusts and your foundations and fiduciary arrangements, and so that you are not the owner directly, you might be the beneficiary. So the EU Parliament passed quite harsh laws attacking these type of fiduciary structures. And we're going to go into that because I believe there's some loopholes there. So then the fourth thing is that the Russians diversified their assets. So they bought yachts, not a great investment, but primarily they bought properties because it wasn't the pressure from automatic exchange. But last month, or earlier this month, the OECD published a framework asked by the G20 for automatic exchange of information on immovable assets, which is property, as well as the rental income. So I would say this is the number one strategy that people did, saying, I'm not going to have financial assets, I'm going to buy properties. And people
Yeah.
bought, for instance, in the UAE, many properties, okay, leaving just a
Mhm.
little bit to pay, but the rent will pay for the problem. Not only will the property ownership be reported back to Russia, but all rental income. So the primarily strategy is to formalize a cutoff
Mhm.
from Russia, but that's not easy for them to do, especially if they're out already, you know?
Exactly. Okay. All right. Thanks a lot for that. Mark, if somebody wanted to reach out to you and to find out more, what's the best way to find you?
Well, there's two ways. One is to go to my website, co-ownershiptrust.com, or just Google or maybe AI, search Mark Morris CRS. Hundreds of hits should come along.
Okay, fantastic.